out there, Peabody again. For today's journey into history, we are going back to...
Hi, Mr. Peabody.
Hello, Florence.
Florence? My name isn't Florence, Mr. Peabody. It's Sherman.
I was in the process of explaining that we are going back in time to visit Florence Nightingale.
You mean history's most famous nurse?
Precisely. Please set the way-back controls for the Crimean Peninsula in the southern section of Russia, site of the Crimean War.
Got it. And the year?
1854. The way back, dependable as always, wasted no time in taking us to our destination, a field hospital just 2 miles from the enemy line.
Come on, Mr. Peabody. I'll bet Miss Nightingale is inside.
She was, but we expected to find her beside a bed, not in one.
Miss Nightingale, are you sick?
Extremely. And ill is the word, young man.
Where, may I ask, does it hurt?
Where doesn't it hurt? You see, they call me the lady with a lamp because I go about administering aid by lamplight.
Yes, we know.
Yeah, but what you don't know is that the Russians took all our oil in the sneak attack. Therefore, my lamps are useless. I've been forced to go around in the dark.
Golly, that could be dangerous.
I noticed that. So far this week, I've fallen into 22 trenches.
But don't you worry, Miss Nightingale. We'll get the oil back for your lamps. Won't we, Mr. Peabody?
Of course. Sherman and I started off immediately and under cover of darkness managed to successfully slip into the Russian camp. Finding the oil drums was no problem, for they were stacked everywhere.
So far, so good.
Less than an hour later, Sherman and I were sitting atop a horse-drawn wagon filled to capacity with oil drums and heading back for the Allied lines.
Just one moment. Where do you think you are going?
Uh-oh, a soldier. I'll throw him off the track. The general asked us to bring these oil drums to him.
Good, then put them here in my tent.
In your tent? Why?
Why else? I'm the general.
Sherman's boo-boo left us nothing to do but follow the general's orders.
Seems silly that I would order oil drums brought to my tent, but I am general, so must be good reason.
Quite right. Now, if you'll excuse us, but as we turn to leave...
General, somebody has stolen a bunch of oil drums.
Needless to say, that tore it. We were quickly apprehended as spies and placed in a prison tent under heavy guard.
What are we going to do, Mr. Peabody?
It has become quite obvious the only way we can get the oil from Miss Nightingale is to have the general himself send it back.
The general? How are we going to do that?
That will be simple. The problem right now is getting ourselves some disguises. I solved that problem by taking the hair from a mattress on the cot and fashioning beards for Sherman and myself. Eluding our guards by slipping under the back of the tent, we went directly to the front of the general's quarters. Get me a bucket of oil from that drum, Sherman.
Yeah, here you are, Mr. Peabody. Now what?
First, I pour it on the ground, like so. General, could you come out for a moment?
Coming. What's over there? What's going on? What happened?
It appears as though you slipped on some oil.
Who are you?
I am Mr. Peabody, and this is Sherman Skovich.
Nice to know you, but isn't the kid a little young to have a beard?
Not really. You see, he's a little shaver who never shaves.
Are you kidding? I will go get something to eat. Maybe it will calm my nerves.
That is our cue, Sherman. Your eggs, General?
Hey, that looks good. Those eggs taste like 30-weight crankcase oil.
Perhaps it's because they were cooked in 30-weight crankcase oil.
Oil. Every time I turn around, something is oily.
Calm yourself, General. What you need is a nap.
Good idea. If this keeps up, I'm going to have a nervous proposition.
It's working, Sherman. Waiting until the General had retired and was fast asleep, Sherman and I crept up to a huge pile of oil drums which were directly behind his tent. I instructed Sherman to remove the peg supporting the key drum, and gravity did the rest.
Don't tell me what happened. I know it's oil. Oil to the left of me. Oil on top, oil everywhere.
With all the trouble this oil is causing you, you very well might lose the war.
That's right. You got advice?
Always. Why not send all of the oil to the Allies and let them have the trouble?
What fiendishly clever idea.
With a signed order from the General, we of course had no further trouble getting the oil back across the line.
You did it again, Mr. Peabody.
Miss Nightingale's problems were solved. But such was not the case for the soldiers. Though they now had plenty of oil, there was an acute shortage of water. They had to bathe in oil at night before going to bed, and again in the morning instead of taking a shower. One good thing did come of this, however, a famous saying that we use to this day.
Mr. Peabody, you don't mean...
Yes, I do, Sherman. It's oily to bed, oily to rise.